Imagine this. Every month, your paycheck arrives. You pay your bills. You buy groceries. You go out with friends. You order food online. You even buy a few things you probably didn't really need. And then, suddenly, all your money is gone. Then, the next paycheck arrives, and the same cycle starts all over again. But what if your income isn't actually the problem? What if the real problem is that your money has no clear system? There's a simple budgeting rule that can give every dollar you earn a specific job. It's called the 50-30-20 budget rule. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how this rule works and how to adapt it to your own real-life financial situation. Why do most people struggle with money? Most people think becoming better with money means earning more. And of course, income matters. But here's the problem. If you earn $3,000 and spend $3,000, you have nothing left. If you earn $6,000 and spend the entire $6,000, you're still far away from financial freedom. A higher income doesn't automatically create wealth. The real difference comes from having a system for your money. Think of your income like water flowing into a tank. If that tank has holes all over it, pouring in more water won't solve the problem. First, you need to figure out where the water is going. That's exactly what budgeting does. It gives your money a purpose before you spend it. And that's what makes the 50-30-20 rule so simple and powerful. It divides your after-tax income into 3 categories. 50% needs 30%, wants and 20%, savings and financial goals. Sounds simple, right? But don't go anywhere yet, because people make one of their biggest financial mistakes in the very first category. Most people don't even know the real difference between a need and a want, and that small mistake can completely destroy their budget. Let's break it down. 50% for needs first. About 50% of your income goes toward needs. These are the expenses you genuinely need to live and function. For example, rent or mortgage, groceries, electricity and other essential bills, transportation, basic insurance, essential payments, and minimum debt payments. Let's say your monthly take-home income is $4,000. Under the 50-30-20 rule, you could aim to spend around $2,000 on needs. But there's something important you need to understand. A need isn't simply something you really want. This is where people get confused. You might really want the newest smartphone. You might even feel like you need it. But if your current phone still works perfectly, that new phone is probably a want, not a need. The same applies to expensive restaurants, premium subscriptions, luxury cars, and unnecessary upgrades. And then there's another dangerous thing. Lifestyle inflation. Your income increases. You get a raise. But instead of increasing your savings, you upgrade your lifestyle. A bigger house, a more expensive car, fancier restaurants, more subscriptions. Your income went up, but your financial freedom stayed exactly where it was. And now we come to the second part, because this is where budgeting gets really interesting. The next 30% is money you can spend on things you don't actually need. And you might think, isn't that irresponsible? Actually, it's one of the things that makes this budgeting system sustainable. Here's why. 30% for wants. The next 30% of your income goes toward wants. Things like entertainment, restaurants, shopping, gaming, subscriptions, travel, hobbies, and other lifestyle choices. If your monthly income is $4,000, that gives you roughly $1,200 for wants. Now some people might ask, why spend 30% on things I don't actually need? But that's not the point. The goal isn't to remove every bit of enjoyment from your life, because a budget that simply says, never have fun, usually doesn't last very long. Eventually, you get tired of the restrictions. Then you overspend. Then you feel guilty. And the same cycle starts all over again. The 50-30-20 rule allows you to enjoy your money without letting your entire lifestyle consume your income. But there's another important point. If your basic needs are already taking up 70% or 80% of your income, you don't need to force yourself to spend 30% on wants. Because these percentages aren't laws, they're simply guidelines. You can adjust them according to your situation. And now we come to the most important part, the part that could determine what your financial future looks like. The first 80% of your money helps you live your life today, but the final 20% can help you build a better tomorrow. And this is where the real transformation begins. 20% for savings and investments. The final 20% is for your financial future. If you earn $4,000 per month, that means around $800 could go toward your future. This money can serve several important purposes. First, emergency fund, because life doesn't always follow your budget. Your car could break down, your laptop could stop working, an unexpected bill could show up, and if you don't have savings, a simple emergency can quickly turn into debt. Next, investing. Once your financial foundation is strong, investing can potentially help your money grow over time. And then there's debt repayment, especially high-interest debt. It can quietly eat away at your income, so reducing that debt can be an important financial goal. But here's the most important mindset shift. Don't think of savings as money I'm not allowed to spend. Instead, think of it as money I'm using to buy my future freedom. Every dollar you save today can give your future self more options, more security, more flexibility, and potentially more opportunities. But there's still one major problem with the 50-30-20 rule. What if your income is too low to follow the 50-30-20 rule? What if your rent alone takes up 50% of your income? What if you have thousands of dollars in debt? What if you're not trying to optimize your finances, but simply trying to survive? This is where a lot of budgeting advice becomes unrealistic. So let's fix that. How to adapt the rule to your life. You don't have to follow the percentages perfectly. If your essential expenses are 60%, that's okay. For example, your budget might look like 60%, needs 25%, wants 15%, savings. That's still a system. And as your income increases, or your expenses decrease, you can gradually increase your savings rate. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is awareness and control. Because when you don't have a budget, your money makes decisions for you. But when you have a budget, you make decisions for your money. Powerful ending. So let's quickly bring the entire system together. 50% needs, the things you genuinely need. 30% wants, the things that make your life enjoyable. And 20% savings, investing, and financial goals. But remember, the 50-30-20 rule isn't a magic formula. It's simply a starting point. The goal isn't to divide your income into perfect percentages. The real goal is to stop asking yourself every month, where did all my money go? Instead, you should know exactly where every dollar went, because when every dollar has a purpose, your paycheck stops disappearing. And slowly, your money starts working for you. So the next time you receive a paycheck, don't ask, what can I buy with this? Instead, ask, what job should every dollar do? Because that one simple question could be the beginning of a completely different financial future.